we are really opening many doors and we are breaking many walls because when businesses see AI already doing the job that they want automated, they understand one, hey, it's really not that risky, it can really work for me. And B, if those guys just automated this thing in 3 days, if we're not taking it, oh my God, like 10 other people will be taking it tomorrow.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Grow IT podcast. One of your hosts here, Trey King. And today we are very excited to have our guest Ivan from GART. And we'll be
Hello.
diving into his story today and as well as what his company does, and then some very insightful insight into the technology industry. So make sure you stick around. But without further ado, Ivan, welcome. If you don't mind, please to introduce yourself and tell a quick snippet of your story, please.
Hi. Yeah, I said my name is Ivan. It's so nice to be here and talk about things that I am deeply passionate about. I would say my story really starts back in America. I was doing my master's degree in engineering and operations and AI
Oh wow.
at Cornell, and unfortunately, that's when a lot of bad things started happening back home in Ukraine. That's when I thought, you know what? I'm learning so many things about just automating uh, data processing, automating just operations. How can I put it to good use? And that's where my story in AI really started. I was doing a lot of different projects on like non-profit basis to help people relocate, help people, find support in challenging times when, especially when you're moving to a new country. Hey, like how can I make this transition easier for millions of my fellow countrymen back home? And at that point, I got a group of absolutely fascinating engineers, like people who
Yeah.
know their craft and know how to practically use AI to make people's lives better. Um, since then, we did a lot of nonprofit projects, but also moved to corporate side of things, saying, okay, we know how to just help ordinary people, but can we help organizations as a whole? Like, can we do something that would impact, hundreds or thousands of people with their everyday jobs? And that's really where I'm coming from. I've been doing this like nonstop corporate automation with AI for the last maybe what, 15 months, and over at this point over 30 different successful projects. I feel like I have a lot of things to say about where we are now and where we as a market are going.
Yeah, I would think so, yes. Tell me, Ivan, based on your expertise, what are like the current market trends, that you are aware of? What way is the wind blowing these days? What have you been noticing?
Um, I think the biggest thing that I have been noticing is that we have moved past what's being called as like stage one or level one of AI integration in our everyday lives. Like, if maybe a year ago, everyone would be like super surprised, like, oh, ChatGPT has this new function. Oh, it's twice as fast. Oh my God, Claude, they developed a new model. Now people are starting to think it's really great that I can ask ChatGPT anything, but how can I actually make it do work on its own? I give it
Oh,
instructions,
okay.
and then it doesn't need further prompting from me. And that's the landscapes that we're entering into. We have those amazing, super powerful models. We have those servers by Microsoft, Amazon, that are ready to, host whatever great applications you have developed. But people are starting to ask questions, but how do we actually develop those applications? How do
Mm,
we
mm,
make
mm.
AI fully autonomous or more autonomous than it is?
Excellent. And then, what are like some of the trends that you're picking up, relating to specifically what your business does, in the marketplace? Are there any new trends that you're seeing as well, as opposed to what you just mentioned now?
Mm, I would say there are really two big trends that I'm seeing,
Yes.
and this is uh possibly some kind of crossroads for where the industry will move. Um, At first, we saw a lot of very specialized uses for AI, generative AI, where people would say, "Hey, we figured out this one specific process, how to do, I don't know, cold emailing, or how to do like content preparation, or how to do some research, where you make it autonomous, but you make it autonomous for a very niche kind of application." Now, over the past maybe last 2 quarters, I'm starting to see a lot more movement towards generalized automation. Like, how do we make an AI application where we can put in any kind of business process that we as a company have and make AI execute it? Kind of like
Excellent.
mm, two different worldviews may be
Yeah.
colliding or maybe synergizing together. Time will
Yes.
tell.
Excellent. And tell me, what do you see as the most significant value your business got can bring to the industry and to other businesses? And then as well as how do you guys currently like communicate this value to your potential clients?
Hmm. That's that's a really good question because I am also in the process of, refining my answer to it.
Excellent.
Um, yeah, right now I see that our biggest value is bringing AI automation to business that does not require the business itself to adapt. Kind of like if I came in and said, "Hey, I really know how to do marketing,"
Mm,
and I build an AI to do only marketing,
mm,
it's very likely that my view how to do it right would not really fit with whatever your business is doing. And to use my tool, you as a business would need to change something, change how you do things. And that's really a lot of effort, specifically when you need to retrain your people. I believe that by coming to a business and saying, we can take your process as it is and teach AI to do it, and later you can change the process, you can improve it, but you don't really need to change right now. You can reap the
mm.
benefits of AI being faster, being cheaper, being more reliable without ripping your business apart, ripping some part of
Apart.
the business apart. Yeah. And because we have developed some, I would say, good, robust proprietary tools,
Mm,
it allows us to come to many businesses and say, I know that you don't really see how AI would help you because maybe you're skeptical, maybe you're afraid, or just seeing a lot of risks. We can take one of your processes and automate it in maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, depending on how long it would take for you to sign an NDA. But realistically, you give us a
excellent.
process, we
Yeah.
can give you an automation that's maybe like 90% correct in 3 days. And you can already start seeing how it works. And that way, we are really opening many doors and we are breaking many walls
Mm,
because when businesses see AI already doing the job that they want automated, they understand one, hey, it's really not that risky. It can really work for me. And B, if those guys just automated this thing in 3 days, if we're not taking it, oh my God, like 10 other people will be taking it tomorrow.
but taking
So
it. Got it. I mean, I think everybody, and I think all our listeners knows as well, is that, I mean, AI is such a buzzword at the moment, but,
really,
attached to that is that, the market is still very much risk adverse when it comes to AI and and what it can do. So I can definitely appreciate the fact, like you mentioned, now it's where your clients' businesses are currently at, and they don't have to take the Rolls Royce from the beginning. They can grow into it,
Yeah,
from a perspective. I really think that's a good approach, not just from a risk adverse point of view, but I think even just from a budget point of view, for that matter, and getting used to new systems.
it's true.
So
Absolutely.
tell me, Yvonne, and then a bit more, just a bit more from a holistic point of view. In your opinion, what type of mindset would you say is needed to be a successful founder of a company?
Hmm. I would say, in general, to be a successful founder, you really need to connect to the final value. Kind of just put your hand on whatever the thing or whatever the experience that your final user would say, hey, this is amazing. I want to pay you for it. And
Mm,
just build from there. Always kind of keep keep yourself very close to where value is generated. And I'm speaking of this because this is my third like fully functioning business. And before going into AI, I actually built like a physical service oriented business that kind of works as an art retail around the globe.
oh,
And
okay.
I built that business from almost from nothing. I came in, it was just a small art studio back home in Ukraine. And by asking myself, hey, where is the greatest value? What's
Mm,
the studio producing that people want to pay for? And how we can put 100% of our focus on it first. And that vision allowed me to almost 10x the business year one because I was able to leverage what business already had, but refocusing on value production.
value
And
production.
I do the same in AI. Um, so kind of,
Excellent.
yeah,
Tell me, Ivan, and then what are some of the most important things? Like you've mentioned, this is your third company that
yeah.
you're building. What are some of those golden nuggets, right? What are the most important things that you've learned in your career? If you don't mind to share one or two of those.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I would say so very first thing is you need as a founder as
Yeah,
or maybe as a person who is running the business to keep a very close control of this value generation that I was speaking of before in a way that you need to understand it in and out. You may not understand a lot of the things about what's happening in your operation, but you need to understand what is this point where we deliver value and how are we doing it? Why are people willing to pay for it? What is the secret or what's the most important part of it? So um myself, because I am an engineer, I have a business degree, but I also have like a proper engineering, like math heavy, coding and numbers, all of that. I am
the good
able
stuff.
to I am able to sit down and see what we are building, and I understand how every last thing we add is adding to this final value that clients would be happy to receive. And that's kind of my secret number one. And um, secret or focus number two is after you figured out how to deliver this value, you need to start teaching your other team members to do the same. Like instead of trying to give out a lot of different tasks and just sit down and say, hey, but how exactly are we filling out those documents. I really need to know. No, you probably don't really need to know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if those documents are not generating value, do not hassle your people for, getting it 100% right. But hassle, well, hassle, and
yeah,
in air quotes, like really pay attention to explain to other people how you're delivering value, how you're generating value, and makes them understand, even if in parts. But that way you can start scaling, because if you're the only person who knows how to do that,
yeah.
is a bottle.
Scaling. Got it. That is very much profound and very good advice. Ivan, thank you so much for coming on. All the best to you and to GART Technologies.
Yeah.
Tell me lastly, where can our listeners, where can they find you?
Hmm. I would say that, well, I, as a person, I am available almost everywhere. But the best way to find me is to actually reach out and, I don't know, grab a virtual coffee. I am available uh very, very, very often, for a 15-minute call. I'm interested to hear perspective of people. Maybe here's their questions, here's their views. Like
Yes.
just last week, I had the most profound and amazing conversation with an owner of a trucking business in the US. And
Yes.
he is very classical person. He's a man in his 60s, and his like the first thing he said when he logged into our call, he said, I don't really know computers. I don't really care about what's happening in that machine, and I do not trust it,
Yeah.
but I trust results. So,
Mm.
Ivan, can you explain me how this AI thing can give me results? And we
Results.
had just this conversation, very foundational. We are people in different worlds, but we
Yeah.
both left that 15-minute call, I don't know, like twice as smart or something. So,
Was
yeah, come on, grab an online coffee with me.
excellent. And then tell me just what's your company website
Yeah,
address?
it's GART Technology. It's GART.tech. So
Lovely.
short
Okay,
and
guys.
simple.
All right, guys. Well, God, Ivan, thank you so much for coming on, guys. Get over to GART Technologies. Go learn more about them. Thanks for today, Ivan. Appreciate you. Take care.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Bye now.